Good evening, everybody. I'm Go Veer, Go Home, and welcome to Third Rail Thursday. Every Thursday, literally every Thursday at 8 o'clock, we go live. Now, if it isn't me, it'll be either Tim from They Make It Like That, which normally covers the first Thursday. I cover the second Thursday, and then we've also got Eminem Rails, who covers the third Wednesday. No, I was going to say Wednesday, Thursday of the month, and then we all join for the last Thursday of the month, where we do GVO After Dark. So, because it is the second week of May, it's my turn. No layout, no problem. Well, as you guys know, I have started taking apart my layout, so I probably won't be running trains tonight. However, that really hasn't stopped me from purchasing new ones. So I'm definitely going to show you what could very well be a unicorn. Something that I never thought I would be able to find, probably in a million years. I did own one at one point, but it was like 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, and I haven't been able to, uh, you get one since. So we're going to take a look at that. Uh, Projects. We also have projects as well. I'm going to show you something that I'm working on, and tell me what you think. But before we get started, of course, I do want to say hi to everybody who showed up. You took the time. It's a busy week, and I know it's Thursday night, so are the Leafs playing? Probably not, but that's okay. We've got Mike H. Trains. He was live just before me, just before I started, so it's good to see you, Mike, doing more lives. Dwight Curley and Dave Co. How's it going, Dave? And James is in the house, and we got Ronald. How's it going, Ronald? And Anthony. How's it going, guys? And the High Plains Drifter. Howdy. We also got, I saw somebody that I used to know. There we go. John Banicki, how's it going? And Mr. Floyd Robbins, how's it going, Floyd? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Robin, how's it going, Robin? And Ray from Around the Layout Podcast, how's it going? All right, let's get going. So you guys know that, of course, the layout has to come down. We have to make a move. It's been quite the transition. Haven't even found a new place yet. Haven't found a place to call home, but we are actively working on it. Jay's Model Railroad, how's it going? Thanks for joining. But I'm still trying to remain positive, of course, with everything. Trying to find a new place to call home and to set up shop and start building another layout. Hopefully. Definitely has to have a finished basement. I feel more comfortable in a basement that's carpeted, but we'll see what happens. I've already found a buyer for all my track and all my switches, and I've got most of it up. I think I still have my helix is still there. It's still vertical, but I went through and I clipped the wires and I started trying to take all that stuff out. The DCC system's out, that's already boxed up and whatnot. And I think I've managed to pack at least 10 to 15 bags of garbage, which is really hard to deal with. So, yeah, it's the areas that aren't ballasted, pretty smooth. I can fly through those areas, but when you have the ballast down and whatnot, it takes a little bit more time, a little bit more effort to get through that stuff. But I find that anything that is covered in plaster cloth, it comes up really, really well, and it comes up in bigger chunks. So just in my experience. However, so in a little bit, I'm going to show you what I've been working on. This is cork. It's a much smaller version of how I purchase it. I normally purchase it in big squares like this. This is 1 foot by 1 foot squared, I believe. Something like that. I don't have my tape measure here. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. It is, 12 inches square. So the foot by foot squared. And I have cut a whole bunch of these down to 3 inches squared, and I'm going to make them into tiles. Now, if you guys remember my paper mill, there's a whole concrete section where I used, I guess it's foam core board, and I put that down, and it goes over the tracks and whatnot, and the trains pull up, and it looks nice. It was okay, and in the cracks, I made some of the static grass, so it looked like the grass was coming up through. It looked okay, but I had seen somebody else do something that looked a little bit more realistic, and I've tried that, and you're going to kind of see what I've been working on with that, and we'll take a look at that. But first, the new logo, because it's 8:01 now. It's all fair game. Hey, Sidetracks. Hey, Sparky. How's it going? So yeah, new loco day. Well, kind of. This locomotive here came out from a company that is no longer available. Any guesses? Any companies that are gone to the wind, as they say? Any guesses? Any guesses? New train guess? Hey, Anthony. How's it going? I got so tired of seeing all these GP9 videos and everybody with their brand new GP9s. So I had to do something a little bit different. I do want to thank Perry, Trackside Perry. He helped me out here because he apparently had a couple of these. So, how long ago was it? I want to say this came out a good 7 or 8 years ago, and the company went under for whatever reason. I don't care, but yeah, these when you try to find them online, they are not cheap at all. And Perry, you can tell Perry took very good care of this because it's like it's brand new, and I got to be very careful as well because it has a lot of breakable parts on it. Any guesses? Any guesses? True train, a true line train. Yes, absolutely. That was a very, very good guess. Although there's not a lot of companies from yesteryear that are no longer. I mean, there's some, but most of them stick around. But the newest locomotive, because I recently did a roster update, so you guys did not get to see this. So this is my newest acquisition, I guess. Oh yeah, MP40 something. Hold on, what is this? MP40-3C. And this one here, this is Go Transit, obviously. Go Transit. And it's only, well, I think there's DCC to it. I think Perry said that it has TCS, but there's no sound. So what I did was I placed an order with the wonderful people at Otter Valley, and I got myself a Lock Sound V5 decoder, very nice, and a little speaker. I know some people will say, "Oh, those speakers suck. You should get this one." Blah blah blah. I know that this one works with this decoder, so that's what I went with, and also it's small enough to fit inside. And it's cool because I did see the inside already. The shell comes off really easy. You just you open up the shell this way, and then the whole thing just lifts right off. There's nothing, you don't have to take off the couplers and whatnot. But right underneath the decoder that sits right along here, it's almost like it's hollowed out right in the middle. And the speaker just fits down in there, which is really cool. So, yeah. The thing about this is that Atlas is going to be doing these, or they did do these. They're not out yet, but they actually got the tooling from True Line Trains. They ended up getting the True Line Trains tooling. However, will you ever see them do a Go Transit road name? It's tough because Metrolinx, who owns Go Transit, they usually ask for a pretty penny. And these are already really expensive. I think that the ones that Atlas is doing is going to be in and around the the $400 mark for a sound unit. That's Canadian, of course, Canadian dollar. So to have, Metrolinx come in and say, okay, well, you got to pay us royalties, it would be, 450, almost $500 for one of those. So I'm pretty sure that they won't unless they manage to get a really good deal. I know companies like Athearn, they'll do Go Transit, but they don't pay them royalties, and they've gotten in some hot water in the past because of it. But I'm really happy. This is like I keep saying, I call it a unicorn because you don't see them too often, and you probably it's not the kind of thing you can just go to the store and buy. I love this thing, and I'll actually get a chance to run it. I'm going to pass it back off to Perry, and he's going to do the install. I don't trust myself that much. But I'm going to get to go and run some Go Transit stuff at the Arm Prior show, which happens June 1st and 2nd. And I'm probably going to go on the Saturday, and I'm going to take all my Go Transit stuff, and I'm going to run some cool trains for everybody, and that'll be fun. It's 624, road number 624. I'm kind of blurry there. There we go. But this is this is perfect because I've got this is as modern as you can get with Go Transit locomotives. They still have the F-59s, which I've got 4 of right now. But having only one type of locomotive from a road name, it's tough. It's tough. I definitely want to find more. I also wouldn't mind the F40, which they do not run anymore. They ran the F40 at one point, but they don't anymore. And I wouldn't mind getting more of even these, especially with the fact that Rapido has a whole bunch more cars coming out. I already have all the ones from the first run, but I'm even looking into doing some more wraps because I did some of the wrapped cars in the past. And I had fun doing that. It was a fun project. I forgot to put this on. It's okay. I'll add that after. But yeah, I'm very excited. Everyone loves New Locomotive Day. So, but as for the Jeep 9s, no, those are awesome. They look really, really cool. And of course, Mini Prints, they have the belt pack operators available for you. So if you do want an actual mini belt pack operator, who is, by the way, a CN belt pack operator in real life, George was scanned, and you can get a mini George and his friend as well from the Mini Prints website. So that's cool. So I'm going to show you my project, the project I've been working on, because for the last several weeks, I have been doing a kit build, and we've started a group kit build just this past Saturday. Every Saturday night we do the kit builds. We had Nick from ITLA, and he came on a few weeks ago, and he gave a clinic about how to build wood kits. And then we all decided, okay, well, we're going to do do I have it here? I do. Yes. That's why I keep everything in my drawers here. So this is the kit that we're doing collectively, all of us HO guys. And I'm doing the flat. I think the other guys are doing the flat as well, but we're all doing our own version because it's the kind of kit that you can, if I can find the page, there we go. There's so many different versions of the one kit that you can actually do. So we've been working on that, and I know Mini Prints joined and Sparky joined this past Saturday because they have the kit, and we had a good time. We were talking and working on our buildings, but what I'm doing, and I'm going to just tilt this down here for a second so you can see, because I don't have a layout, I need to make somewhat of a diorama to put the building on. So this technically isn't cheating, guys, because I know that you're like, what is he doing? He's not going to work on the kit. That's Saturday. True. But that doesn't mean I can't make a base for it, a foundation. So as I said, I was taking cork, and this is just your basic cork sheet. It happens to be the same thickness as cork roadbed. You can kind of see that's just, your regular Midwest cork, and they're the exact same thickness, which is cool. Now, what I did was I cut them into 3x3 squares, except for this one here because that was the leftover piece, but this is where the building is going. So I wanted to just put this one in full here. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't need to be in the little squares. But as you can see, I'm prepared. I'm not cheating. I'm prepared, and that includes spraying the I forget what he calls them, but I had to make sure that the sides were done as well because this sticks out from the building. I prep everything, so most of my stuff is prepped. I just got to do the more brickwork and stuff like that, and weathering and stuff. But with the base here, so I got my piece of track, but I'm going to remove that. So what I did was I took a piece of fascia, and this is, well, it's the what is it called? Ply something, masonite. There we go. Okay, so I took a piece of masonite, and this is from my actual layout. So a piece of that continues on. So you're gonna prep tomorrow. You had all week to prep. Leslie, I think you should prep Saturday afternoon because that's what I do sometimes. Saturday afternoon before the show, prep. But yeah, I took a piece of masonite from my layout that I'm taking down. I cut it to a whatever kind of size. I don't know what I'm working with here. This is let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it's 19 inches long and 12 inches wide. Or deep. I don't know, whatever. And basically what I did was I took my square, right, because I got a whole bunch here. And then I took regular old plaster. So this is what I used here. This is my all-purpose, what is it, grout? Toot usage? No. All-purpose tote usage drywall compound. Oh, I guess the toot usage is French. Yeah, it's just drywall compound. I usually get a big bucket of this because it's cheap, and I use it throughout the layout as well. And this is left over from my last layout. So what I basically did was after cutting them all, I put the drywall compound down, and I put it flat, and I just put it on the top. You don't have to, do both sides and all that, and along the edges. And that doesn't matter too much. And then once it dries, I let it dry overnight. And I take my little sanding block here, and obviously, you flatten it out a bit. And if you have bumps and whatnot, you get rid of those. And it leaves you with, and I can just take something like this here, leaves you with just a flat, mind you, this is spray painted. I spray painted it gray, like concrete gray. And yeah, it's just a square concrete pad. Now, when you have an industry, kind of like what I'm going to have here, like the building, there's usually, big concrete squares. And that's one method you can do. For this here, what I'm doing is I'm putting them all like tiles. And the cool thing about it, and I can probably take one of these, I'm going to do this one here. So if we're saying that this is concrete and you want to make it look a little bit more roughed up, you can always break it because it's, it's old, right? So then when you put it back in, you see those cracks. And then you glue it down and it looks, well, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I can move this closer. But see how it gives you that cracked look? So now you can make it look really cracked, or you can have some solid pieces, but it just gives it like a much better look than just flat. Now, the way I used to do it, where I would just take my knife and score the lines, that's okay, but this way I just find looks so much better. So these are just extra pieces that I haven't figured out how they're going to go yet. So I'm just going to stack those off to the side while I do this. And again, this is just one way. This is just the way I'm doing it. It's something new that I wanted to try. When I seen it, I was like, "Oh, that looks like really easy. I could try that. I could do that, and then we'll see what happens." So I'm just going to, there we go. See, I just rip a piece out like this, and then like that. Cool. So now I'm going to take, hey Tim, how's it going? My wood glue, because I haven't used this in a while. That's probably why it's really tough to get open. There we go. And I'm going to try and line this up here. And yeah, it's the kind of project that does take a couple of days because obviously, you have to prep it and stuff and paint it. Actually, I did the sanding and the painting today. So honestly, it's just a 2-day thing. But you can already see, like, depending on how you get that together, that could look really, really cool. Cork is like hot sauce. I put that stuff on everything. I there's never a shortage of cork here. I really like working with it, and it's the same. Like I said, it's the same height. You can find cork for cheap too. Most of these pieces that I got that are 1 by 1, I got from the dollar store, and I got, what was it, like it was 4 in a pack for $3, I think, Canadian. And I just want to, I'm going to show you again up close because this piece is glued down now. So you can kind of see that I didn't have to draw any lines on there. I know you can, but that makes for an awesome little, that was a square, but maybe somebody dropped something there or a heavy vehicle rolled over that. Nobody knows. It exists. So it's just, one way to do this. So I'm going to continue through here because I'm having a lot of fun with this. So now you don't have to do this with all of them, but you can also take your knife and kind of flick up some pieces too, and then just kind of have it so that it looks like it's, make it look like it's broken. And now you'll notice that I'm not using a knife because cracks aren't clean lines. So why would these lines be clean? Makes sense, right? Totally, totally. I'll obviously put some weight on this as well after, just so that nothing shifts or moves around. And the cool thing is that when I come back with my weathering, I'm going to obviously have to weather this a bit. I also want to add the grass coming up through the cracks too. That's really fun. I really like doing that too. And because I use static grass, even better. Yeah, you could use styrene as well. I used foam core for the last one, but it it's okay, but it doesn't give it that natural of a look. I think this gives it a much better look than the actual whatchamacallit, than the foam core. Hey Russ, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Now it does look like I'm doing arts and crafts, but I'm actually doing a somewhat of a diorama for my new wood kit from ITLA. And because I don't have a layout, I don't have anywhere to put my kit. So I thought, well, this would be perfect. This is a perfect idea. I get to try out a new kind of technique here for doing a concrete kind of floor. And I get to share that with all you guys. So there you go again. So just kind of looking at that concrete floor, and I'm going to keep going strong with that. Now, another thing I did is the piece of track that I have here. You'll notice if you look close enough, I cut down all the ties that are right along here. This was just this again, another piece of track from my layout. Going to give it new life. Going to let it continue. So with the cork, you get that beveled edge, and that normally goes like this, and it goes down, so your ballast falls down. But when you turn it upside down, it basically goes level with your rail. But I had to cut these short because this here would push it out, and you'd have quite the distance there between your rail and the edge. So I'll be able to kind of adjust this accordingly and have the rail have it go right up to the rail here. So that's why I did that. So I'll have to cut the ties on the other one as on the other side of that as well, because I'm gonna have to continue it this way. So this one here will have to go like this. The cork is a little bit harder to break, but that's okay. You get it. And I could totally see people doing this for their layout. So even though I'm just doing this on a little module thing, I would totally do this on a layout. Now, I also want to make sure that everything lines up here as well. Now, you could just naturally just put all of them, side by side and whatnot, and they'll look fine. They'll look a little boring because there's no cracks or anything. But, to each their own, right? Your layout, your rules. And I hope you guys try this out. If you do, let me know, because I'd love to see what you guys come up with as well. I find that there's a lot of things that a lot of ways you can use this in particular, and it would look really, really cool. Put some weight on that as well. Ye old battery. the first Ryobi. Look, it's not my old battery, it's just an old battery. I got no shares in Ryobi. Or with Ryobi, I should say. Hey Randall, how's it going? Even this look here, and I'm going to show you this because it looks really cool, and I kind of did it by accident. It was not on purpose. So this is the long piece of cork here. I didn't feel like I needed to cover the whole thing with the plaster, but even this back section here, where it just looks like all broken stone and whatnot. I don't know if you can see that, if it'll come up clear, but I'm sure if I weather the heck out of that, it'll look almost like broken gravel, which I think looks cool, but it's going to be under the building. You won't even see it. So just another tip for you guys. Hydrocal? No. It's so this is cork, right? Cork, basic cork sheet. And then I just put like plaster over it. Just like what is it called? Drywall compound. I put it on flat and then you let it dry and then you sand it so that it's flat or mostly flat. You can see imperfections in that. Well, you can't, I can. But there's imperfections in that, and then you just highlight that by breaking some of the pieces just to add those cracks and whatnot, and then that makes it look even cooler. Um, and then when you add your fence and your loading dock and this and that, you know it's gonna look like the bee's knees, dare I say? The bee's knees. Bees don't have knees. That's crazy talk. Ah, Mike. See, that's why you gotta glue you to that chair, man. As if I could teach you anything. Please, you should be on here teaching me stuff. Never mind. Me, I just I learn as I go. But man, you probably have more talent in your pinky than I do in my whole body. So all right. So yeah, I've got these squares that are just I know I've said it a couple times. So for those of you who have stuck around and we can keep you in your seats long enough, you're probably gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna go over it again for Mike, just for Mike. Basically, yeah, I take these squares. It looks like cork, or it is cork, I should say. It doesn't look like cork. And then basically, I put plaster over it, sand it, and now I'm cracking it. Whoop. And I'm making it look like sidewalk slash parking lot. Yeah, parking lot street kind of. And I hope it turns out decent. because that's all I ever really want is to things to turn out halfway decent, you know. So here's to that. Um, oh yeah, I should put that back. And of course, the fun happens when you like weather it and you put like you know, the grass and whatnot, make it look like old parking lot, you know, oil stains and whatnot. This place was not well taken care of. Hey, Big CW, how's it going, Chris? Chris is building a layout now too, which is very cool. I just need him to post a video at some point. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, Glenn, how's it going? All the cool kids are here tonight. That's awesome. I am making quite the mess, but it's a fun mess. Spray paint something or prep something for Saturday. I think Nick is actually going to be joining us this week, so you can't make fun of him no more. But yeah, to just kind of let you guys know, so like we've been doing this group kit build for the last couple of Saturdays, um, and because it's a wood kit, I've never done wood kits before, and these are some of the. This isn't from the actual kit. These were some samples that were sent to me, and I got to practice some of those skills that basically Nick from ITLA had taught us. So I tried a couple. Kind of happy. I got to pull it back a little though. I think I went a little too happy with some of it. And then, yeah, got lots more prepped for this week. So that's fun too. So I'm really excited to get more done with that. You're doing the windows on Saturday. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna let the cool thing about this is wood glue, just in case anybody was wondering. Lepage or Lepage wood glue, and that stuff works really well on everything. I think I've glued all the cork that's on my or was on my layout with this stuff just because it works so well. And you know that's gluing cork to wood, cork to foam, foam to foam. You know, and now I'm doing cork to masonite, and that'll work too. And it dries quick too. So there's, you know, you don't have to sit around waiting all day for, you know, something to dry. Oh, good. Now, I also have a video that I should be posting this week or by the weekend's end or something like that, as well, because I do have one last video of this layout and just like the last run, and also the camera car shots as well, because I have to send that camera car off to Northlands now, which is pretty cool. So you guys will be able to see the same car that was on my layout. It's going to get featured on the Northlands layout next. I remember using it in elementary school, but it was the white glue. Thanks for the memories. No worries, no worries. I think they have a whole line. I think they have some spray glue as well. But this one in particular, this is more of a wood glue. So that's why it's not the white white. Don't taste the same either. That was a joke. It's more of a robust flavor. The wood glue. Okay, white is for paper, the yellow is for wood. Isn't paper technically just wood, but very thin? Riddle me that. And I know I said I wasn't going to do every piece, but it just looks so darn cool that I feel like overdoing it. See, I haven't even decided yet if I want to get a slug set. Even for me, because I model CN. I do a lot of CN stuff. And I definitely like my zebras. But the problem is that when you don't have a layout, I'd be afraid that it would just sit and it would not get used. But then again, I got this Go Transit one, so mind you, I don't think it would matter if I ran it or not, as long as I have it. But yeah, I was more concerned as to whether or not I get the zebras, like two zebra locomotives, or the mother and the slug. And I've seen a bit of both, and it's still a tough call to say, oh yeah, one's better or I prefer one over the other. It's such a tough call. Yeah. So I mean, for me, the Ottawa Club is the closest, and it's something that I've been thinking about joining more and more. Um, Especially with the fact that you know, no layout. What's a guy to do? Got to get your itch, and then you got to go run some trains, which is totally fine. And also with my schedule change too, it's had it's made me become available, Saturdays and Sundays and most evenings. So unless I've got something like this going on, right? But they only do one meetup a month. But this is actually the last month that for the year. Well, until September, I guess. So I won't even get to go to this one. That happens. What is it like? Not this weekend, but next weekend. So even though it seems like my schedule is, open, it still really isn't that open. But I don't know. I'm gonna try to go as much as I can, and there's a couple of shows that are coming up that I get to run at. Uh, like I said, I'll be going to the Arm Prior show, which happens the first weekend in June, and then in July they do a setup in Renfrew at a church for kids. And the kids get to see the trains and whatnot. So I'll probably run trains there as well for the kids. And then there's nothing until September. I think this is looking snazzy. It's looking good. I think I should put this big piece on next. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Canada's Train Channel. Welcome to Canada, where the maple syrup is sticky, and yeah, that's about it. Oh, nuts. There we go. Welcome to Canada, where the Leafs always lose. Yeah. Just fixing the tiles for my bathroom. Nothing too crazy. And then I put the train going through the bathroom, of course. Just a nice touch to let people know who use my bathroom that I like trains. Now, will this connect to anything? Probably not. I could though, if I really wanted to, but I probably won't. But I could. Because if this track is on here, all I got to do is add some rail joiners and then, solder and all that, blah, blah, blah. Now I do want to cut a piece of this just so yeah, that'd be weird if you didn't want trains running through your bathroom. Now, I really wish I could credit the person who I seen do this, but I obviously can't because I have no idea, and I don't remember. It's kind of like the whole Helix thing, right? Like nothing is original. Let's face it. There's no original idea anymore. It's all been done, and if it is, well, it's pretty neat. But I can assure you that this is not an original idea. Therefore, not willing to take the credit for it. But if I do something and it looks cool, then I'm okay with that. I should really start, writing that stuff down. That way I can give proper credit to people. But then again, it's like, did they come up with it? Or did they just see that somewhere else as well? Then you're giving credit to someone and it's like, no, they just saw it on the gram, just like me. Was it on Instagram? I don't even know if I saw it on Instagram. I have no idea. Either way, it's like, always try new things. Like to me, this is brand new. This is a new thing. And trying to create realistic scenes is already, tough enough. It doesn't need to be like, brain surgery or anything like that. So when I find something like this that I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do that in an afternoon, I'm, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. And, you know, it's either going to work or it's not going to work. That's the way it goes, right? So, and if I do something and it looks cool, then bravo. But I'm not going to get bent out of shape if it looks like garbage. Just got to make it look cool. That's all. And any way you look at it, it's content. That would be the social media side of me kicking in. Content is content. But I guess messed up concrete is one of those things where it's like you kind of want it to look thrashed up, you know? I'm going to do one more piece here and then I'm going to hold it up and then you guys can critique my concrete pad slab, whatever you want to call it, thingamajig. And then I've got another project. That's right, project number 2. Because I don't just do one thing. I do like 50 things at one time. Because why just do one? Why focus on one thing when you can focus on 50? Well, I mean, if we're keeping score, which we're not really, um, we can count the wood kit as project number 1. Uh, this is project number 2, number 3, which I'm gonna, start in a minute, and then taking down the layout, which is a whole other, you know, project on its own. The Bob Ross of concrete. Yeah, I don't know about the curly hair. Speaking of which, I do need a haircut. Maybe my beard. My beard hair is really curly. Okay. So I managed to get that all glued in. And feeling pretty good about it. I made a mess with the glue. I don't even know how. Okay, well, that's something. Chris makes it like that. Well, I don't know. We can say that. Then I'll start having to pay royalties to Tim. Big trees around the outside of the concrete. That way you can say the roots cracked it. That's true. Well, I do like to add like grass and whatnot coming up through to show kind of like an overgrown look. And then when I get the building done and I put the building in its place here, I'm going to add like right along the edge. You know how weeds come up right at the crack? So I'll do some of that as well. I'm not sure what I'm going to do south of the track, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I come up with because this already is like wow, cool, you know. So I don't know. We'll have to see what else I come up with. So you can kind of see cracks there, but it's gonna look. You're gonna be looking at it more like this. I don't know if the camera is going to actually, focus. But I'm sure once I highlight and whatnot, it'll look better. But yeah, concrete pad. And all I had to do was get some cork and some plaster, break it up a little bit once it dries. Why is the track on an angle? Or is the building on an angle? The building is going to be on an angle. By the way, Sparky, I changed the layout of my building. It's also going to be on an angle. Because when I was looking at it, the actual, what would you call it? The footprint of the building when it's squared like this, because originally it was squared, and I'm like, there's rules, and I try to follow these rules. And when you have a building on a module or even on your layout, you shouldn't put it parallel. Same thing with the track. The track should not be parallel with the edge. So if this is the edge, you don't want your track to go across like this. Hence the rules. So what I did was I just did this. There you go. Now it looks like it's, a scene. It doesn't look like it's pasted on here. So when I was looking at the building on here, because I laid all this out and then I kind of set the building up and it was squared like this. And I'm just looking at it, I'm like, it looks so weird being straight across the back side like that. So I extended the length of this side and I'm doing the building to be more like this. So it's going to be on an angle like that and probably not as far out, probably like this. And the building is like that big. So it's going to cover up all this, but it's also going to be on a bit of an angle as well, just to make it look a little bit more like it's not cut and paste right there. I didn't want it squared with that. So that's what I hate about the Fremo standard. Yeah. Yeah, where it's like, you have to have track here and then you can have another track here. This is like a diorama. So yeah, with the Fremo standard, I totally get it though, because they all have to connect. So that makes sense. It totally makes sense. But if you take a look at some Fremo, they're not even straight at all. So as long as your end, like if this was your thing and you came out like here and then you went to here, you can still connect. I don't want to try to turn the track, but if it came like this and you finished here and started here, as long as you can connect the other modules, that's fine. And then even Bubs has one where it starts here because that's the Fremo standard, but it goes up and it makes like a giant S curve. I don't know if you guys have seen those before, but yeah. And then it ends up in the exact same spot so that something else can connect to it. That's why having 2 or 3, maybe even 4 modules, if you're doing Fremo, do something like that, because not only is it more eye-catching, you can create more scenery around it to almost paint a better picture. And then when you are taking pictures, it'll just look more realistic in a sense, instead of it just being straight across like this, which is still fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm just saying, realistically, you want something that's not across your edge here, across your edge here, here, nothing parallel. Yeah, like Fremo, like there's a couple of different ones. I've seen the ones where you have the tracks up at the front like this, and then you put your your buildings and switches in behind, and then your main line runs along the front edge like this. You've got about, what is it, 2 or 3 inches in, something like that. 2 inches on track center. So it's like this. And then you'd have another track, so another 2 inches on track center. Do I have anywhere? Oh, yeah, here we go. So you would literally have 2 tracks like this. Obviously, it's all main line, right? But I've seen it also the way that Bernard is talking, where it's literally just down the middle, and then you'd have stuff on this side, stuff on this side. I personally prefer this one over the middle, just because it gives you more room to do stuff back here. If you want to have switches coming off, and then you can create a whole switching thing. I've seen a couple of different versions of it, but it's whatever your club sets up. So I don't know. You just kind of have to go with the flow at that point. But I'm very happy with this, how this turned out. And I still have lots more to do with it. I can't wait to show you the building on here too, because that'll look cool, I think. And because it's already painted, all I got to do is weather it and then add little details. So that's it for now. That's that. So, but I got lots more that I have to do with that. Now, this other project that I have, so I'm going to just put that over there for now. This kit I got not too long ago. Within the last couple of weeks, anyways. I was thirsty. I've been looking for one of these, and I was totally going to add it to the layout. And then I was told that I had to take it apart. So I have this kit, and I'm going to do it anyways, because it could probably go on my next layout or whatever. Because I have a trackside mic sticker that would totally fit on there. And I think I'm going to advertise trackside mic on my modern single post billboard. And then I do have something for the other side as well. So I'm going to get into this one. Now, this is one of those kits that I've never done before. I do enjoy Walthers. Scene Master is okay. I don't have any quarrels with Scene Master. They do some stuff. Lots of neat parts. And they do give you some cool signs. We're just going to say signs. Come visit Hole-in-One Donuts. And then they put a picture of the donut kit. 24/7 Mart. Skyview Drive-In, which again is another Walthers kit. Green Valley Motel, again another Walthers kit. When disaster strikes, Ace has got you covered. Ace Auto Insurance. Seems real enough, but I don't know. When you want the best in class, come fill up with Winner's Gas. Winner's Circle Petro. Highway 42, exit 7. See, I would never put something that specific if you're modeling a certain area. I mean, I like the idea that they, went out of their way to do these for you. But I like making up my own stuff. And if this is one of those double-sided whatchamacallit, billboards, which it does look like it is, I've got a sign for both sides. So I'm going to be sure to utilize. I'm going to utilize that. And this should be a small, quick kit that I think I can put together with no issues. Or hopefully no issues, I should say. Why does it give you 3? So that... No, it gives you 4. Holy cow, you get 4? 4 billboards? Is that real? Is that a real thing? Huh. How about them apples? How about them indeed? Is there a difference? What's the difference? I feel like there's a difference. Yes, you get a single-sided billboard, and you get a double-sided billboard. Huh. Cool. Cool beans. But then probably times 2 then, right? Because there's enough here to do multiple. Walther's going out with giving you all the extra pieces. Is the new layout going to be N scale? No. Been there, done that. Now, I guess I could add actual lights to this thing, which would be even more impressive, I'm assuming. Is that the kind of thing that people get impressed by? Adding lights to things? Do that. I got tons of LEDs. I do not like these stands, though. They give you this stand, and I guess they expect you to use it, but I don't really want to. Not a fan of the stand, says I. Okay, that's one popped. And there should be a bunch of L-shaped things. So these. Yeah, Tim, you missed my new logo. I don't think you saw it. There's no way I go to N scale now. Mind you, Kato did them in N scale, and they did a terrific job, which kind of makes you think, why wouldn't they do the HO scale ones? Are they so small that they're not worried about them going unnoticed or something? Check that out, Tim. This thing's a beast. I just need to add sound and sound. Mostly just sound. But yeah, I've got the DCC stuff put aside here. So I'm going to have that done at some point over the next week or two. Walther Seamaster Part 949 9494252. Doesn't say on here. This one. This is what it looks like. Modern single post. You know, I could have sworn that it was. They usually put the number on here. I'm surprised by that. Is it on the paper? Yes, 9494252. Yes. Yeah, HO scale, modern billboard, single and double sided. So you get this piece here, and that would glue together. And I use my trusty Tamiya extra thin. You get so many billboards. I thought it was literally just one billboard that you get. No, you get a bunch of billboards. And the cool thing is I can just paint it black and get away with it, and not feel like I have to overly detail this thing. But I'm gonna put some cool signs on it. Like I'm gonna put Trackside Mike's sticker because he's a cool guy. And on the other side, I think I can show you. I'm pretty sure I'll show you. I'll show you after I glue this. Because a long time ago, and I do mean a long time ago, when I did my first Go Transit car wraps, I had a gentleman do the artwork for me. And he also included some signs that I had seen in real time, which were the old Apple ads, the old Apple billboards. if you guys don't remember, some of the earliest commercials that they had was just a bright color with a silhouette of somebody dancing, but then the iPod that they had that they were wearing would show up in white. And they used to have billboards in Toronto that looked just like the commercial. So what I did was I asked him very nicely, hey, can you do that for me? And he made me 2. And I still have them from like, I don't know how long ago. Here, this is them here. Do you guys remember the commercials when they did these? But those are decals, which I think is pretty cool too. So all I got to do is dip them in water and slide them onto the actual sign. I have one for, this could be for a wall, and then I'm going to use this one for a billboard. Cool, eh? So yeah, that's what I'm going to do with at least one of these. Might take like a business card from something and put it on the other one, but I've got enough parts here to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Might do a double and 2 singles. Yeah, there's enough here to do 1 double and 2 singles, or 2 double-sided, whatever they're called, billboards. Now this is the little tread walkway that goes in front of the actual billboard. And it's supposed to shine the light up. But what I might end up doing, if I can, which I doubt I can, is gonna have to come up with a way to shine a light up at it. I know that Woodland Scenics has spotlights. I'm not sure how bright they are, but it's something that I might get because they work with all the just plug light system stuff. Okay, so eeny, meeny, miny, mo. How does this really go? Is it tough? I do not know. It's one of those things where, like, I'm glad they add a color photo here because, okay, see, yeah, now, like, that should go like that, but there's no indication there as to where that starts and where that stops. So I think I need the L brackets, which I was kind of working on here. Where's the one go that I was totally working on? Go fix that. Ta-da. They're not very tall, are they? That's on the base to there, you're 2.5 inches tall. It's kind of weird. Mind you, I don't know how many feet that is in HO scale, but pretty sure it's something. Okay, let's see if I can get these off of here, and I'm going to see if this will work. I'm sure we can print out a lot of them with colored printers. I'm going to make a vinyl purchase so you can slide different posters in to change them. That'd be cool. Me, I try not to, touch the things all that much. Once it's in place, I want to leave it and that's it. Because I find that with a lot of this stuff, it's very sensitive, right? So you try doing certain things like that, and then it runs the risk of breaking. And I'm like, no, I just want to do it once and forget about it. Don't want to have to keep coming back to it. Okay, so that's kind of, that's kind of how it sits in there. You have to do what, 4? Yeah, 4 along there. But I think that I would attach them. How does this thing, does it even attach to the back here? Oh, kind of. Yeah, goes right up. Huh. This is the kind of thing where you can glue it all together before you paint it, and then just paint it after you're done, and then you're good to go. Especially if you're only doing it like one color. Like for me, I'm just painting it black and that's it. And then I'll do the decals on it. Canada Post delivery trucks? No, I haven't seen those yet. I've been watching for them, but I have not seen them. Mind you, I've got about, like, I need to get a second P42. I want to get 2 of the GATX blue box cars from Aurora Miniatures. I want to get a blank Series 4 Bombardier bi-level car so I can do the Go Leafs Go wrap. And then I want to do possibly 2 of the Zebra Jeep 9s. Possibly. As of right now, I'm still undecided. When you don't have a layout, it makes it harder. It's like, I want it, but do I get it? You know? It's a tough call. Tough call. Brendan's been trying to talk me into joining the club, and then that way I can just make my own modules, and then I'll be able to add to the club layout. And they really want me to do my paper mill, bring the paper mill back to life that was on my layout, and then repurpose all those kits so that they get a more modern looking paper mill, which I think is a really good idea because I already have the kits, so I don't have to go and buy them. They're off the layout now, so that means I can actually weather them before I put them on anything. And most of the module that we have that I would use, it's already built and everything, so I don't have to do too much to it. Just add the track. And obviously scenery and all that. I think this is only $20 as well. This kit is $20 Canadian, something like that. 20 to 25. It's not an expensive kit, but for what you get, enough to do, several billboards. Make your own billboard type thing. So the latest announcement. Now, are you talking about the C36-7, or are you talking about those military flats? Because the military flats are pretty cool too. Sparky might like the C36-7 Conrail unit, but there wasn't really anything for me in that announcement package. I'm still waiting for my Dash 8s. Dash 8s should be in probably next month. I don't know if you, well, I mean, you could weather it. I mean, like I said, I'm probably just going to do flat black, but yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt to do a little bit of weathering on it. Let me look when it's going. I can't get. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. There's a lot of cool stuff, even right now, like that's in stores. There's so much. My cart is full. I'm just, I'm waiting to pull the trigger. Can't commit yet. Got to do the whole, do we have a house type thing? Do we have somewhere to live type thing? I think, that's just the way I'm wired. The whole family thing is like way more important. I love trains and all, but trains can be replaced. I've seen many a train come and go from my collection, but family, you only get one of those. The latest 944 CW. You know what I'm excited for? Walther's Bowling Alley. Yeah. Start the jokes. But hey, that's a cool looking kit. I don't even care. I love interesting looking kits. The fun, it's more fun. Like I'm building a bowling alley right now. So I gotta let that dry because that's all still movable. I think the biggest question I'm gonna have when I go to build a new layout is what area am I going to model and like what am I going to run? Because for what I mostly run right now, obviously Go Transit, uh, ONR, some ONR, via rail, and of course CN. So I think my biggest thing is do I model Toronto? Do I model, something within Toronto? It might be a good idea. It's been a few years since I've tackled a Union Station build, and I think it might be one of those ones where, because I've often talked about N scale dystopia's layout, because he has an N scale layout, and he's modeling Union Station and N scale, which you can get away with in N scale because, I mean, not much room needed, right? Hamilton would be cool. I have a steel mill too, so that would be, right up there. If you guys haven't checked out N scale dystopia, you should really. I know I always give N scalers a hard time, but it's all good. It's not, you know nothing serious. But Denny, he has a great channel, and he has a great layout too. Go check that out. Because I've often told him, I said, man, if I ever had to rebuild, I would probably be doing a Toronto layout. And look who has to rebuild. Me. Model Whippy, they have a steel mill and the new Go Maintenance Depot. That's true. I've driven past there, and yeah, I've often went rail fanning in what station is that? I guess would that be Whitby Station? I think so. The train station that's just let's see, north would be that way. So just west. It's either just west or just south of the Whitby maintenance. There's a where you walk over the tracks. Oh, I don't like these small pieces. Oshawa. There was one time where I had some modules, and I actually did. What station was that? Ajax. I did Ajax Station, or I was trying to replicate Ajax Station. It was all right. It wasn't really. I never got to finish it though. But I like how they are because it's the Go tracks are completely separate from the rail line, like the CN and whatnot. So I could totally have a separate Go line where if you just want to run some Go, you've got your Go line, and then CN and whatnot running in the background. That would be neat. Have a good night, Sparky. We will see you Saturday. Sparky, he got some ITLA kits, and he joined us for the build this past Saturday. So I think he'll jump on again this Saturday as well. Same thing with Bernard from Mini Prints. And now that Mike is back, Trackside Mike, he already had the kit, but he hasn't built it yet. So I think he'll be jumping on with us as well now that he's back to his regular shifts. So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited. They are a great group of guys to chat with. Hey, Derek, how's it going? How are we going to get on the live stream, Chris? Or are you keeping the group small? Oh, Steve, are you going to be joining on Saturday? You've got your kid, yeah? I know that you were out of town last week, right? What you can do, I'm going to put my email up here. Email. There we go. Okay, so there's my email. And what you can do, or what I'm going to need you to do, is I need you to send me an email. Say, hey, it's Steve. I wanna join the live. And then what I'll do is on Saturday, when I go to create the stream, I will at that point send you the link to join. And then obviously 8 o'clock, or whatever it is your time. I have no idea where you are. I gotta be honest, Steve. I can't remember for the life of me where you're located. But 8 o'clock my time is usually when we start. So yeah. So I'll probably am I off this weekend? Oh yeah, I'm on vacation, I think. Am I on vacation this week? I don't even know. All I know is tomorrow's Friday. No, 8 p.m. p.m. Yeah. we do the builds at night now. I used to do them Sunday morning, but because of my schedule change, when I do work weekends, which is usually every other weekend, I wouldn't be able to. So, in the spirit of being fun, I just changed the day and the time to which I do my lives, just so that I can continue to do my builds, technically. Why is this not working? Well, how does that work? 2 line up? No, 3 line up, but 1 does not? Oh, I see, because it's moved. Shame on you for moving. For shame. Here we go. Ta-da! It's stuff. No, it's a mini billboard. Oh, will that go into there? Hold on. Game changer. Nice. Okay, so that locks into there. And that means I can glue it. I'm going to put some glue on all of these. And this glue is really good because it basically melts your plastic, unpainted plastic to unpainted plastic. I dig it. I dig it a lot. You totally could make it a mini TV screen with this. Ooh. This is why I hate these little stands. This is stupid. Oh, yeah, but like, would I put that base on my layout though? I would sooner, and here, this is just me saying this, you don't have to do this. Where's the thing? I know this is a thing. So pretend you have a dowel or something like that. This is just a paintbrush, obviously. But I would stick this into the layout, glue that in place, and then I would. Oh, it really only goes that far? Well, I'd have to drill that out, I guess. But I would sooner have something like this than, and make it look like this is going right into the ground. I'd probably have to drill that out or something. But yeah, I'd sooner have it like that than on this. I don't like that base. Hmm. And the only part left is this, which goes like that. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue on here, and then hopefully that sticks. 2, 3, 4. Ta-da! Cool. I like it. It looks like a billboard. Therefore, I must have done something right. So when I go to put my picture on there, and I'm just going to kind of show you, because why not? Where is it? Where did it go? That's not it. There it is. Which one did I say I was going to? I think I was going to do the green one. I might have to obviously cut this down. Oof. A lot. But yeah. So something like that would be kind of cool. And then the pink one as well. Like I can always change it so that the iPod, or it says iPod or whatever, somewhere else on there, or just have it so it's the girl with the iPod. You know, doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. Tim totally remembers. It's totally what I was going for when I had them made. Um, thank you. Yeah, I just, when you think of things like if I had resources like, a woodcutter, and a 3D printer and stuff like that, I'd be making so much like weird stuff like this. Yeah, I'd have to shrink it. I don't have the original, unfortunately. This was made for me, but I could totally cut it down a little bit and then bring the iPod up to here and then just put it in there like that. But I don't even remember if that comes up as clear or not because I don't think that he could print in white. So I might have to even do the back, this part here, white, just so that when you put because this is a decal, You put that on there, and then yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Um, Now at least I have a measurement, so I could probably shrink it. I don't have a color printer though. That's a problem. Anybody have a color printer? Can somebody print me something? See, like I said, if I had resources, then I'd be killing it right now, but I don't. I don't even have a color printer. Mine's just black and white for whatchamacallit, doing jobs and stuff. Oh, wait, maybe it just, yeah, it only gives you 2 posts? Oh, that's stupid. Oh, I guess you could, well, yeah, no, that's all the parts, right? No, you get an extra billboard. So you could do 2 double-sided. You could probably save this billboard to go on a wall, which is a real thing. Yes, let me do the double-sided one then, because that looks cool too. And of course, you get all these extra parts. Typical Walthers, adding more things than what you really need. But it does allow you to be, a little bit more creative with what you're planning, right? I don't really have an exact plan for these. I just thought I'd get some billboards because I know some people that should be on billboards, and I want to advertise some channels that way. And I'll probably get more billboards too. Not gonna lie. If your layout's big enough, then you need lots of billboards. I might make a billboard that says Third Rail Thursday every Thursday night. Or looking for billboard space, they make it like that. Call, whatever. Because they have those too. A billboard that advertises for the sale of billboards. Or billboard space, I should say. Can the billboard be modified so that it's off center? It's not meant to be, but you probably could. And if I felt like taking a bit more time with it, I probably could as well. I like the billboards that are, so the pole is straight, but then you've got one that goes like this and one that goes like this instead of it being flat like this. If you know what I mean. They're kind of like butterflied out a little bit. I like those ones, and I thought you could do that with these. Don't think you can though. You'd have to add some additional parts to do that. But at nowhere in the instructions does it give you that opportunity. And another thing I wish it had would be a ladder going up. Sometimes you see ladders going up these things so that they can get up there to, change the text or change the picture, whatever it is. You know what else I do have? I have something else here. What else can I put on my billboard? Well, that's from my building. Where are you? It's probably in here. I have a whole bunch of cool stuff in here. I've had these for years because I was totally going to make my own Kool-Aid locomotive, and then what does Rapido do? They make Kool-Aid locomotives. Tellus. I did one of these for Chris, and then I was going to do one for myself. Then Rapido went and made Kool-Aid locomotives, and the Tellus one too. Chris made me these. I knew I still had them. Look at this. Waterloo. A Waterloo that, I mean, like, I could totally do a Via Rail sign. Possibly. Ooh, I found a good one. Check this one out. It says Discount Tuesdays. And it's a oh, and it's roughly about that size. Do I do it? Probably. I will probably do that. Big CW for the win. Yeah, he gave me like just like little banners and stuff like that. I almost forgot about these. But I was going through stuff the other day. And when I say the other day, I mean like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, again, little Canadian flags and stuff. He printed me a whole bunch of stuff. This one might work as well. Save 50% on adult regular comfort class fares with Via Rail. That's another cool one. Well, yes, I am Chris, but there's another Chris, Big CW, and he printed me a bunch of Via stuff a while ago. Because we have such a cool community where we're always doing stuff for each other. And it was one of those things where he just did that for me one day, and I was like, oh man, that's so cool, thank you. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of other stuff. I always save the instruction booklets for kits. If anybody ever gets a kit without an instruction booklet, or they buy one secondhand and it doesn't come with an instruction booklet, let me know, because I probably have the instruction booklet. I'm your guy. I can do that for you. So yeah, I forgot that I had those, so that's cool. Being that you have a black and white printer, you print it on color paper. Well, I mean, no, I didn't even print these. They were made for me, so that's really cool. I found them. But which one will I do? That's the thing. I still got to paint these things anyway, so I'm not there yet. I'm like halfway there. I'm thinking out loud. That's what I do. I think out loud. Or I could just wait till the next time I'm down in Toronto and then see if I can find like pictures, and then I just take pictures of them while I'm there. Or not, whatever. So these things go like this. Come to Toronto. Chris sent me a Facebook DM. Chris is sliding into my DMs for some reason. I have this kit too. I can make it and print out anything you want for those billboards, so let me know. Okay. Thanks, Chris. Can I get those ones again, but like a little bit bigger? These ones? I really like the F40 because I like F40s. This one's also neat, and it's like advertisement. I would totally get more billboards if I do those, and then I'm gonna put like trackside mic on a billboard, and then I'm gonna do an Apple one as well because Apple's dope. Yep, I went there. I think I've had every single, almost every single iPhone. I think every other year or every 2 years, I was getting a new iPhone. I just don't have the 15. The 15 is the one that's out now. So it's, why am I taking this one? I don't want that one. Oh. Granny Smith. They're the green ones, right? Yeah. Granny Smith is the best Apple. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Green Apple, everything. That's how you know I'm getting tired. I'm just mumbling about apples. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you because that'll just make this. It's just a stupid billboard. I know it's a stupid billboard, but the sign will make it legitimately a sweet billboard. So I'll have to blame you for that, for making it a sweet billboard. See, that's why I like this community. You know, Chris sees how I'm suffering, and then he's like, "Yo, let me help you out," because I was totally suffering, guys. All right, so that is good. Okay, so I could glue this, but I want to glue it here first. I'm almost done the double billboard. Yeah, I'm supposed to be coming to Toronto in, I don't even know when. I think it's August. Got a concert going to, it's Blink 182, Alexis on Fire, and I think Story of the Year. Story of the Year opens or something like that, or I can't remember. And then, but yeah, I'm going for Alexis on Fire because that's my band right there. And then obviously Blink. I just saw Blink 182 like a year ago, but when they're so good, right? So you can't just not see them once. I think my wife drags me to go see Post Malone so many times, and the last time we went to see Post Malone, we took the kids too, and yeah, they had fun. So we always go to see concerts like multiple times. We don't just see them once and that's it. Can't get enough. Probably, yeah. The tough part is finding the size that works for the billboard. That's the tough part because it can't be too big, and then This thing is really giving me a difficult time. I like the single billboard better, but it is what it is. I'm sure once I get one side on, the other side will just go on real easy. This could be anywhere in the. Yep, absolutely. I've got lyrics to Rough Hands right here. That's tattooed on me. It says, how does the lyric go again? Sometimes love isn't about how much someone suits you, but how much you're willing to change to suit them. And I thought that was, to me, it spoke loudly to me, those lyrics. Becoming a better person and whatnot. Just saying. Geez, I haven't gotten a tattoo in years. I don't like how that leans so far down. It looks stupid. Well, hopefully the other side looks better. GP40. I like my GP40s. GP40-2, GP40-2W. And then I sandwich them together just like that, like an ice cream sandwich, because it's almost summer. So I can talk about ice cream sandwiches. That's why. Never heard that one. I listened to Stuck in the Middle with You and cover of the Rolling Stones. Yeah. The Rolling Stones are good. Classic. Fleetwood Mac. I listened to some of the old stuff too. Fleetwood Mac is really good. I really enjoy that. I miss doing some of my shorts because I would just do a train video, record a train going around and then add some music to it. Miss doing that. Put in a good selection of different music that I listen to, over the years. Some songs that I like and whatnot. Another brick in the wall. Yep. We don't need no education. Absolutely. When you build your next layout, will you emphasize more on passenger service than freight service, more scenic towns and station stops? And why are you yelling at me? Loud noises. The funny thing, and I'm gonna answer your question with a story because I can. So when I started collecting heavily, uh, you know, models and model trains, train cars, stuff like that, I was collecting a lot of Via Rail stuff, a lot of Go Transit stuff. There was a time where I had basically every Athearn Go Transit car that had ever been on the market. And I didn't care too much for freight. I didn't really think about it. All I knew is that I liked, you know, the passenger stuff. And then I started hanging out with Dave, and M&M Rails. And I went over to Dave's house, and Dave, he doesn't really do passenger stuff. And he mostly had freight. And he would talk a lot about operations and whatnot, where I just kind of like to run trains and see them go around, which with passenger you can get away with. Just put on some passenger trains and let them run around, and that's cool. But with freight, you start getting into operations more, and you start looking at your layout differently. And I feel like I learned a lot from Dave with that. And it wasn't until I went over to Dave's and, we did some operational stuff that I didn't care too much for freight until then. And then after that, I started collecting more freight and whatnot. So his influence weighed heavy on that. And I started getting more and more freight, despite the fact that I was more of a passenger service guy. And then any layout that I did after that, I always included a station. Always include a station so that, you can mix it up every once in a while. So I tend to run both because I don't like to not run the other now. So if I'm running passenger, I always remember to run some freight as well, and then vice versa. Some layouts you can really only do one or the other, especially with the way Go Transit runs, because Go Transit tracks are totally separate from mainline. But you can also run via rail on that main freight line because that's how it gets, across Canada. It uses the CP lines, it uses the CN lines. So, you kind of have to, you can use both with via. So to answer your question, if I do have a new layout, I'll probably run both still because I have primarily a lot of both. I have a lot of freight locomotives. I have a lot of passenger. It was the fifth time you asked. Where never heard that one. Let's do that. ST42s are my favorite. Yeah, there's going to be some good SD40-2s coming out this year from Bowser. Simple Man or Led Zeppelin. Sounds good. What glue do I use? I am using, this is for non-paint, just plastic to plastic. This is the Tamiya Extra Thin. If it'll focus. Extra thin. No. Well, either way, extra thin. This works really good. It melts plastic to plastic. So once these do dry, and I mean, you saw roughly how quick they went together. Yeah, there's no more stands here. They only give you the two stands, but I've got an extra thing here which I can put on a wall too, which is really cool. And then they give you a lot of these extra wall parts and stuff like that. I'm going to utilize those somehow. I'm not sure yet, but we'll sort it out. We'll figure it out. What was my other question? No, there wasn't another question. I was just talking. Styx and Queen, yeah, absolutely. Pink Floyd is great too. One question I heard like a week ago is that if you could bring back one artist from the dead, who would it be? Who would it be? And a lot of people were saying Freddie Mercury would be a good, you know, to today. I was thinking at first, I was like, oh, Kurt Cobain, bring back Kurt Cobain. But then I realized that Chester from Lincoln Park was, he had passed away like a few years ago, and I'm like, so many options, you know. So, but you can only pick one. Here in the West, U.S. Amtrak runs on Class 1 mainline track, not their own track. Oh, Prince would be a good pick too. Alrighty. So yeah, it's just after 10. I always run a little bit longer because I'm having so much fun. I have fun every Thursday. And just to kind of show you guys again, I don't know if you guys had seen my finished result here with this, but now that it's glued and it's dried, I can kind of show you a little bit here. And that was just cork and plaster. And yeah, it looks cool. I can't wait to put a building on there and scenic it because yeah, that'd be really cool. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what comes of it. But looks good so far, I think. And then, of course, my billboards. Inexpensive and fun. You can add little things. I think Chris is going to hook me up. I'm going to put Via Rail billboard on one of these as well, so that'll be fun. I'm not going to use these, then I'm gonna save these, and he'll give me a correct size. I think, Chris, if you're still there, billboard size is 3 1/4 by 1, a little over 1.5. I mean, even if you did it at 1.5, it's not a big deal. Just make it fit, and then yeah, because you don't want to go bigger than that. But yeah, so that's cool. So next week we will be on Mark's channel, M&M Rails. He'll be taking over Third Rail Thursday. And we will see you guys in a couple of days because on Saturday we do the, what is it called? Off the Track? No, that's Monday. Rail Talk. There we go. Rail Talk Mondays. No, not Monday. Rail Talk Monday. Rail Talk Saturdays. Wow. I don't know where Mark is. Mark is sleeping. It's past his bedtime anyways. But yeah, so on Saturday we're going to continue with the build. I'm not going to bother reaching it and showing you guys. You guys, if you show up, you show up. But yeah, we have some good conversations Saturday night when we're building our kits, and you get to see what they're doing because they're not doing the same thing I'm doing. We're doing the exact same kit, just we all have a different look about them. So it'll be fun to see what everybody comes up with. But until then, I'm Go Veer, Go Home. And I want to thank you, everyone, for coming, hanging out, and keeping it on the tracks. Where's Mike? I didn't see Mike tonight. Oh, well, we'll see Mike. Have a good night, everybody.